Hi there, I'm Mike Gales for Everlast Nutrition. Now you think that rest would be just about the easiest activity in the entire world. In fact, you could almost define rest as literally doing nothing. And I guess that's why rest is so often taken for granted. When it comes to working out, rest is often overlooked, misunderstood, and not given the attention that it truly deserves by new gym goers. So in this video, I wanted to take a look at 6 questions that new gym goers often have about giving your body a rest. Question number 1, why do we even need to rest in the first place? Well, you can think of the human body as being a very adaptable machine. It has the ability to be able to adapt to its environment. Now, if your particular environment calls for a lot more cardiovascular activity, then your system's going to adapt by having your cardiovascular system become more efficient. And if your environment calls for routinely lifting heavier objects, then your system's going to adapt by having your muscles become stronger and a little larger. But the most important thing to remember here is that your body's going to make those adaptations in between your training sessions while you're at rest. So basically, during your rest periods, your body's going to repair and remodel itself. Question number 2, why do you need to rest in between sets? Well, your body uses an energy source called adenosine triphosphate, which is commonly referred to as ATP. The problem is that your muscles can only hold so much of that ATP stuff at a certain time. And if your exercise intensity is high enough, your body's going to run out of that ATP stuff pretty quickly. So it's going to need a little bit of time to resupply your muscles with ATP. And it's also going to need some time to remove byproducts such as lactic acid. Question number 3, and this is a pretty good one. How much rest do you actually need in between sets? Now, how much that you rest in between sets is going to influence your exercise intensity level and ultimately your results. More rest in between sets will allow for greater ATP recuperation, and thus it'll allow you to lift a heavier load. However, having too much rest in between sets will have you lacking intensity. Not to mention you're going to be wasting way too much time at the gym. And because your rest periods influence the intensity of your exercise session, you're going to want to tailor those rest periods around your desired result. So, to increase endurance, you're going to want to rest between 30 to 60 seconds between sets. To increase your muscle size or hypertrophy, you're looking to rest 60 to 90 seconds between sets. And lastly, to maximize your strength, you're going to need a little more ATP replenishment, and so you're looking to rest between 2 to 5 minutes. Question number 4, why do you need to rest in between workouts? Well, friction forces from exercise are going to cause some micro trauma to your muscle fibers, which will then need to be repaired. An increase in training intensity is going to cause even more micro trauma to those fibers. And this is not a bad thing. Your body's going to automatically repair those muscle fibers, and in doing so is going to make them just a little bit larger so that they can better deal with that type of training intensity. And this, in a nutshell, is the main purpose for resistance training in the first place. In order for your body to be able to adapt to that resistance, it's going to need adequate nutrition, but it's also going to need enough time for that repair process to happen. And that typically takes between 48 and 72 hours. Question number 5, why do we need to sleep at night? Well, why we need to sleep at night is honestly still poorly understood. There are some theories out there that'll explain that way back in the day, sleep served as a means to keep us quiet at nighttime while there were some nocturnal predators that were lurking about. Some say it was just a method of energy conservation, as the body's metabolic rate falls while we're sleeping. Yet there are some things that we do know, such as protein synthesis, growth hormone release, and tissue repair all do occur while we're sleeping. Still, the biggest speculations for sleep revolve around the brain. It is said that while we're awake, our brains are more active and they produce chemical byproducts. Yet while we're asleep, the brains are less active, and that gives our bodies a chance to clear those byproducts from our systems. There are also theories about the consolidation of memories, which basically explain that while we're asleep, our short-term memory gets transferred to a place that stores our long-term memories. That clears the way for more short-term memories to be made. I guess you can kind of think of that as taking the short-term memory of a computer's RAM and storing it to a long-term hard drive. And finally, a good one, question number 6. What happens if you don't rest? Well, without rest, your body's going to begin to shut down. Because it does seem that for whatever reason, your brain really does need that downtime. In fact, you can actually go way longer without food than you can go without sleeping. Now, when it comes to training, a lot of novices run into trouble because they do not properly rest their muscles. They retrain the same muscle groups over and over without giving them adequate time to properly recover. This causes even more microtrauma to your muscles that your body cannot possibly repair. And over time, it's going to actually break your body down instead of building your muscles up, which is the exact opposite of what you want to do. So all that being said, I really like to stress to my clients the importance of actually resting. I also recommend to all of my clients to choose a specific rest range between sets to meet their specific fitness goals. I also recommend that they aim to get a solid 8 hours of sleep per night, and that they rest individual muscle groups at least 48 hours in between workouts. So don't forget to have sweet dreams and to give it a rest, because that's when all of the magic happens. This has been Mike Yales for Everlast Nutrition, and if you like these videos, then please click below to like and subscribe, as we're constantly posting up new ideas and great tips to get you into the absolute greatest shape possible.